Today we have a special guest, a rigger of IIT, a young leader. The more honest you are, the more visibility we can have on you. Normal day, how many calls you start with?
There is no end to it. Getting less emergency calls is more efficient way of working. Any escalation call from the client at 10 o'clock, it disturbs your entire day.
Did leadership teach you more about people or manipulation? IIT creates confidence or pressure to always perform.
IIT, I don't think it's a stamp everyone needs, okay? But if it is there for you, it's obviously an advantage for you. Coming to the pressure aspect, yeah, of course, why not? So, since there is a lot of media exposure to IIT, so the expected salaries and all would be high.
So, when did you first feel that leadership actually is not an easy job, easy task? There will be always an invisible line between you and your reportees, right? Do you think that it is as strict as possible? Wouldn't that sense that you're drawing an invisible line between you and your reportees? So what I take from here is a leader has to have his authority or dominance towards your employees, isn't that?
It's not a dominance.
So you must be feeling like you're too young to do that.
Yeah. Unfortunate truth of the industry it is. So yeah, age matters here, and you need to spend quite a lot amount of time towards the business and your professional life. Okay, so wherein you feel that discomfort between your personal and professional life. I have to do everything on my own and perfectly what can be delivered, but that's not going to work once you start growing above the ladder.
Don't you think, Shrikar, this is a never-ending race?
A never-ending race, and it's individual choice whether you want to run that race or you want to take a break.
What is your choice?
Yeah, I took my choice.
So you have that thought somewhere you're tired. You had before?
See, yeah, I had when there will be downfall, there will be blunt days wherein you can't do anything. There is nothing much interesting going in your life.
Have you got this failure which is always being in your mind till now? As an entry, it is not about the journey of your professionalism. I'm just asking through your career, through your life.
I was inclined towards going into software actually because I was not aware how to take the decision, and maybe I took a wrong choice.
Shikhar, do you see politics in office or the managements where you worked?
Some manager might be promoting persons from his own region, encouraging the team who is making favor to anyone. No easiest way in life. So yeah, at certain point of my life I regretted, instead of going to software, I came into the core industry. Everyone is working in the IT, then who is going to work in construction? So yeah, since I made a choice.
Maybe you're convincing yourself saying that.
Yeah, that's what.
While everybody is speaking about success, awards, achievements as one side of a coin, there is always an undeniable side which people rarely speak about. It covers the emotional challenges, silent sacrifices made by the leaders. This is not a spotlight. This is the unshared experiences from the leaders, achievers, and the creators. Well, I am Manoj Kumar and welcome you to the Untold Leadership. Today we have a special guest, a rigger of IIT, a young leader who has started his career as an executive. He climbed the ladder of success, becoming business unit head. He's handling a lot of projects, a big one, handling multiple teams across multiple cities in India. A well-seasoned leader, a strategic thinker. We welcome Mr. Shrikar Tangudu for this show.
Thanks for the invitation, Manoj.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your first podcast. And I'm hoping to have a great discussion today. So yeah, coming to my background, I was born in Chapra, a small village in Srikakulam district in Andhra Pradesh. And I did my graduation from civil engineering in IIT Kharagpur, post which have joined Tata Projects as executive trainee. and I have carried out multiple roles in Tata projects, and I've worked with multiple CEOs and SBU heads over there. And going forward, currently I'm working in Flip Spaces Technologies as BU head.
That's great to see that. What is keeping you busy these days? Since because you're from operations team and everything, so I'm just asking this.
Okay. Okay. So coming to the, like, I'm dividing it into two parts. One is my personal life and my professional life. So coming to the professional life, I'm currently handling multiple projects in Hyderabad region. Previously, I handled projects in multiple other cities also. So currently, I'm working in the commercial interior space, wherein we are doing end-to-end solution for the clients, complete turnkey office for the end clients. Okay. So the current challenges in the industry is, based on the market scenario, there is a bit slack in the market, and with existing projects, we are able to deliver much of the projects on time and as per the expectations of the client. So in any operations role, if you consider, the biggest management is the team, because those are the guys who are going to deliver the project at the end of the day. So handling large teams will be challenging. So wherein we integrate technology into it, which enables fast monitoring. One is monitoring you can do at a quick pace, which brings the predictability in your project execution, which helps ultimately to deliver the projects on time. So yeah, more or less these are the case what I'm dealing currently.
That's good. But normal recent days you keep it. So apart from work or anything, what is keeping you busy? Like apart from work, where your mind goes.
So to be frank, recently, like, I'm not much into reading books. Recently, I started reading books, and my wife is currently pregnant, and
Oh,
I'm expecting a baby
congratulations.
next month. Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
So yeah, regarding the personal life, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's good. So since because again coming into the point that you're into operations and you're leading a team and you're taking care of a city, so normal day, how many calls you start with?
There is no end to it. So yeah, coming to operational aspects, you get, since we are dealing as a turnkey project, so we deal with multiple category vendors, starting from the turnkey civil vendors and the MEP vendors. Okay, so there are three types. One is majorly you get calls from your team, wherein you get escalations or something, and the other part is the vendor management, wherein you have to address those problems, and the third one is the client. So yeah, these are the three category of calls any operation guy has to handle in day to day.
Okay. So in that, how many calls will be in emergency stuff? You know, when you're waking up and you get a lot of calls, and how many calls will be the emergency one?
So to answer that question, actually, getting less emergency calls is more efficient way of working. Okay, the less I get the emergency call, the more efficient my team is, and the more efficient my workflow and everything is going forward. Okay.
Right.
So as I initially mentioned, like, we have been integrating technology into the project executions and all. So we try to manage the projects using different dashboards and everything, wherein we get the predictability of the issues upfront, so that we manage maybe 90% of the problems pre-hand, maybe 5 to 10% of the problems which are may not be in our control, may be influenced by external stakeholders, might come, which we have to address on daily basis.
Okay, that makes sense. Emergency call and escalation call comes. Now, would that determine your mood for that day?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? So if you get any escalation call from the client on at 10 o'clock, it disturbs your entire day. So that's the reason. To be frank, I schedule my day in such a way. For the first 1 hour of my office time, usually I don't attend the calls. I get my work done and what happened the previous day. I schedule my day for the how I need to manage my time for the day, and of course I'll attend the call later and I'll address the issue whatever the client has. So that way you get, you set your mood for the day and you'll be more efficient in your work.
So you're saying that you will be prepared
Yeah,
for those calls.
yeah.
Alright. So since you're from IIT, My question here is not only for you. I just wanted to be, hear the answer from all IITians. Whether IIT creates confidence or pressure to always perform.
Mm, okay. So since you mentioned my IIT graduation, okay, so since as I mentioned, I came from a small village, Chapara. Okay, I was the first IITian from my village.
That's great.
Okay, who has done BTech. Okay, so it inspired a lot of youngsters in my village. And as one day, if you see, my own brother is studying in NIT, and my other friends in my village are studying in various other IITs and NITs. See, IIT, I don't think it's a stamp everyone needs, okay, but if it is there for you, it's obviously an advantage for you, okay. Coming to the pressure aspect, yeah, of course, why not? So, one, since there is a lot of media exposure to IITian, so the expected salaries and all would be high.
You cannot face a failure because you are an IIT. Is there anything like that you faced?
So I have different perspectives. See, there
Mm.
is no question of not failing for anyone in this world. Okay, so some things work, some things won't work. So it's matter of experience, what you gain, what the knowledge you gain from the experience you you have enjoyed over there. Okay, so yeah, failing was always part of the journey. So it was there during my career as well.
There are some interesting questions where we just want you to, take this as your conscience question, that you are asking some question to yourself, and we want you to be like outward, like honest, right? The more honest you are, the more visibility we can have on you, right? All right. So, when did you first feel that leadership actually it is not an easy job, easy task?
So first experience I worked with Mr. Satyanarayana, who was heading one of the SBUs in Tata projects. So I have seen the pressure, I have seen the way he used to work, the lifestyle he used to have. So it's a very good opportunity to see the leadership at such a close level. So, and the way how he used to monitor the things, it gave an exposure, and I understood it's not about handling the project; it's about more of about handling the people. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that was a great lesson what I learned from him. So yeah, so I understood it's not going to be easy going forward. So you must be well prepared for the
So from
consequences
then
as
you
well.
started knowing that no, it is not an easy task,
Yeah,
right?
definitely it's not.
Right. All right. So, what you would say for a young manager who's leading into the position of leadership? Okay, what do you say upfront or disclosure
Hmm.
to him that by see this is not going to be an easy task? What do you say then directly?
See, in any leadership, we have multiple categories of problems you need to solve. Okay, so the basic ground rule is to solve the problems at any role you work in the company. Okay, so you must be well versed with the problem solving. First, you need to adapt yourself how you're going to approach a problem. It's not about you are solving in a right way or wrong way. It's about how you're going to approach a problem. So, in my perspective, first you analyze the problem, what is the exact root cause, you go into the detail of it, and then you start addressing the problem. It will give time advantage, cost advantage, and everything. Okay, so at a manager level, I would say you build that perspective how you're going to address the problems. First thing, and the second would be the people management. There might be some people who would be reporting to you, and you might be working with cross functional departments. So how you're going how you're handling with them and what's the relation you're building with them. It's not about only completing the work. Okay, so how you're going to make some impact in their personal life also. It might happen you get an opportunity to create some impact in their lives also.
Mm-hmm.
So as a leader you need to be such at a such connect. Okay, and when you move to leadership, okay, the downline your people are going to run the show. Okay, so you need to build those relations and you need to have such a team when you go into the leaderships. Yeah.
That's really nice to hear. Well, did leadership teach you more about people or manipulation?
Okay. So the manipulation is a very strong word, I say. Okay. Using the right data, what you have at the right time, would give you the right results. Okay. So there is no question of manipulation, because at the end of the day, your client must be satisfied, and your vendor must be satisfied, and your team must be satisfied. Okay. So manipulation in what aspect? I'm not sure what you meant it.
So manipulation in such a way that end of the day, yeah, you want the result, and
Yeah.
you can do some sort of manipulation
Okay.
in doing that.
Okay.
Do you think that works out?
So, see, if you're handling a client, okay, so and you found some problem on site, okay, how you're going to disclose the problem to a client is a skill, okay. It's not, neither you are going to able to vanish the problem, neither you can't skip conveying to the client. But the right way you are conveying to the client is a skill what leadership has to is all about.
Can I take that skill as one sort of manipulation?
See, it's not a manipulation exactly, it is, but yeah, to maintain some relationship in your personal life also, you might be using.
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong about what I feel about it. Yeah.
Can you give me a percentage, like how much you have to more care about people, manage people, or manipulation? Can you give me a percentage of the 100?
See, there's no see, in my perspective, see, I can take one example of the project where we were executing a project in office space. Okay, so we encountered a problem which is a external problem, and we don't have any control on that problem. Okay, and in client, there were, I think, 3 4 people who were spokes, who were handling the project. Okay, so there you need to take a strategic call, like out of the four, who is the one you will be able to convince fast, and who is the one who is going to understand your problem. Okay, since it's an operational problem, okay, out of those four there is an operation guy who understands the real world problems. So we conveyed the problem to him first. Okay, instead of conveying at once to everyone, first we brought him on the same pace, then we were able to convince all the clients at the end of the day. So that's how I approach any problem on site.
On the overlook, would that be a people management?
Yes, yes. It's completely 80% it's a people management and 20% is a project management. And again, it depends on the scale of the project what you're dealing with. Okay. And when the project is very structured project and there is no leverage of anything, and it will be more of a process driven, and the percentage might vary here and there. But yeah, in those scenarios also, the people are the one who are going to ultimately close the project. So that plays a major role.
Okay. On the other side, have you been manipulated by either by clients or by the colleagues or your reportees or someone?
Mm, See, manipulation happens when there is no process, first thing. In the team, I'm not talking about the client handling and everything, regarding the vendors and the team. So it happens when there is no right process in the system. Okay. So there is always, if you know, there is a maker and checker mechanism. Okay. So which helps in a lot of process making. Okay, if there might be some person on site who will be reporting the data, and there might be some other person who is going to validate it, and then I get the information. Okay, in that way we stop majority of the manipulation what happens on ground. That's the most common way any leader can follow it. Okay, and yeah, there are cases wherein we found like a vendor got tie up with our team, and we found out later eventually, because see, when your processes are so strong and you will be finding out maybe not today, then tomorrow he'll be caught. So yeah, they happen in any of the projects. Yeah.
Okay. So you will be speaking along with your fellow colleagues, right? And after coming to a stage, so you have to detach. There'll be always an invisible line between you and your reportees, right? Do you think that it is?
See, again, it's about people management again. Okay, so yeah, the way you will work with your team varies from each leader. Okay, I have worked with multiple leaders, and the way they approach to the team is very different. Okay, there is a boss wherein he approaches to the team like any member of the team can approach him very directly and everything. And there's other boss wherein he controls the team. Okay, so wherein it was the approachability was very low, but he was a very good leader. Okay, so the way you're going to monitor or manage your team, again, it's a very personal thing. And see, if you work with any leader, you will learn pros and cons with any of the persons. Okay, so what is right fit for you, you need to select from those guys, and you need to implement the things.
How you are working, how you make your team.
So yeah, coming to the work professional aspect of it, so maybe I be as strict as possible. It's not about being only strict, and I give the leverage to the team, and I'm very approachable in that case. And any of my team member may not be direct reportee, can approach me directly, and yeah, till date they will be approaching for any of the problems. First thing, and second thing is you need to spend some time with your team so that you connect at a personal level, okay, and you understand their concerns and everything. Okay, so the world is changing, the approach is changing. With the current connectivity setup, the people can work from anywhere. Okay, so I myself have inculcated those things that it's not about working from 9 to 6, it's about getting the work done. Okay, so yeah, going forward it's going to be very volatile, and people are going to change, and more of a hybrid setups come up.
Okay.
Okay, wherein people can spend good enough personal time and contribute to the work. Okay, if you consider, see, any employee out of 8 working hours, he might be working on the real problem for max 3 to 4 hours, as per my perspective, and the rest all would be the other works. Okay, so yeah, so that predictable, that approach to the problems and everything is changing quite fast. So we need to adapt those things as well.
No, that's what I'm asking. Like,
Yeah.
that strict as possible, wouldn't that sense that you're drawing an invisible line between you and your reportees, your
That's what I'm
employees?
saying. See, the way I am strict on the professional aspect, I connect with them at a personal aspect, which bridges that gap and which brings that connect with my team and myself.
Do always a leader or a manager has to have that layers, sort of, the higher one and the low one? Is it like that?
See, you can't be in the same mode every day. In the same way, you can't be approaching your team in a similar fashion every day, right? So, yeah, so with the connect what we have with your team, I think it will give you more approachable results and everything.
So what I take from here is a leader has to have his authority or dominance towards your employees, isn't that?
It's not a dominance, okay. Uh, to put it in right words, mm, it's about how you're monitoring your processes. Okay, if you take example, see, if you're not strict, okay, and the problems happen, the mistakes happen, at some point of time you need to restrict those things until you come out of those mistakes and problems, then you're not going to go to the next phase, right? Okay, so it's not about fixing their responsibilities and everything, it's about how right they are doing approaching towards the work.
Hmm. So, so it is not about the dominance,
No, it's not. Going forward, it's going to be very lenient.
but still the line is there. That's good. Well, since you've started your career like too young, right? Have you ever felt tough in going with older clients or well-experienced clients?
Like in what aspect you mean?
So when you're dealing with the older clients,
Mhm.
so or well-experienced than you, have you ever felt a tougher one, or the client didn't give you much of respect or something like that? Have you ever faced like that, or too hard to pull it?
Mm. So yeah, so in the current industry, if whenever I work with ID companies and the new age companies, to be frank, I never faced any such issues. So they were very professional and everything. It was both the sides. It was on same pace. And coming to the few projects wherein they have come from very traditional businesses like maybe a power plant or something. They're into the manufacturing industry and all. So there they expect the hierarchy and all those things. Okay. So in such scenarios, so what I used to do is like I used to project as the ultimate authority to sign off any changes in the project. So they get that once you start discussing with them and taking decisions at your level, the confidence level increases with them as well. Okay. So that reduced the approach towards my boss or someone from the client directly. So they used to come to me directly and request for any changes or any concerns of the project.
That means that you wanted to put double effort for that
Yeah, definitely you have
than
to
a
do
normal
that. In
client.
such scenarios, you have to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so you must be feeling like you're too young to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Unfortunate truth of the industry it is. So yeah, age matters here, and again, so it's going to change down the line. May not be today or tomorrow, but yeah, it's going to change down the line. So the same culture, what the agile methods, what we have in IT industry and all, they are going to come up in the same in our industry as well.
it's because you've been in this industry, service industry especially. So when you thought that, yes, my work is kind of hitting my life, the
Okay.
balance of it, when you start thinking on it, like,
So see, once you start growing above the ladder, once you reach certain point and you'll be responsible for the business level, then you need to spend quite a lot amount of time towards the business and your professional life. Okay, so wherein you feel that discomfort between your personal and professional life. But see, at every stage of journey, once you are given next level responsibilities and accountability, so it takes a certain duration of time. Like example, maybe some person might take 3 months, some person might take 6 months, but you need to have that patience to understand that role. And the biggest part of the leadership is you have to learn how to delegate the work. Okay. So in earlier at my career, I used to feel like I have to do everything on my own and perfectly what can be delivered. But that's not going to work once you start growing above the ladder. You can't do 100 things in 24 hours. So you need to strategically think what works are more critical, what are important, which there might be some works which are not much of a critical, but you have to do. But such scenarios, you can delegate some of the work to the downline team so that you spend the quality time on the actual decision making. Okay, so this process takes ideally maybe 3 to 6 months for any person when he is given any new role. So during that tenure, yeah, of course you have to handle those things. But after 6 months, you'll understand how to manage the things and how to manage your time as well. So going forward, it will be more comfortable for anyone.
does that impact of your personal life?
See, pretty much I was a bachelor during my career, so it didn't impact much. But after marriage, yeah, of course, your family expects your time and your presence. Okay, so that you need to plan. See, that's what it's ultimately the time management. What anyone can do. Every person has 24 hours. How you're going to spend and how you're going to allocate the time. Okay, so yeah, that's what. It has affected during my initial phases, but yeah, now I don't think so it's affecting much. I was able to manage the things right now.
Okay, manage in such a way that what percentage you give for your work life and then your own life.
See, in any normal weekday, you consider I start working from 10 o'clock, starting from attending the Scrum calls, and I come close maybe around 8:30. Okay, based on the work of course. Suppose that I have my personal time. So, but see, since in India it's quite different, okay, and in operations vertical it's more critical that you can't skip answering your calls. Yeah, that might trigger your personal space, but you don't have any choice here. You have to do that.
Somewhere, don't you think that you're just losing out your lifetime, in order to work and prove your stability and that. I totally understand that it is your growth and everything, but still you are sacrificing something, right? So how do you face that? How do you want it to show to your followers, saying that is this it'll be, or you can do more than that?
See, again, it's up to individual personality. As a simple statement as no pain, no gain. So until unless you take some pain, pinch of a salt, you have to consider those consequences when you want to grow aggressively in your career. So that is part and parcel if you want your career progression in India. What I observed, okay, maybe in abroad the scenarios are quite different and they have very stipulated work timings and managing the clients calls, anything. They're very particular about separating both, but in Indian scenario I think it's quite mixed up in operational role at least.
Right. But don't you think, Shrikar, this is a never-ending race?
It's a never ending race, and it's individual choice whether you want to run that race or you want to take a break.
What is your choice?
Yeah, I took my choice way before that I want to run this race, so I'm enjoying the race now. I'm okay with it.
Still, or I can ask you like where you wanted to end it.
So during my college tenure and all, my role model was Mr. Abdul Kalam. Okay, and where I see myself is either I make some impact to this country. Okay, wherein maybe I deliver such a large project to my nation, wherein I can contribute my learnings. So may not be at a I'm not telling you what role I want to be, but at the end of the my career and of my things, I want to contribute something to the country.
While running this race, as you told you are interested in running that, have you ever thought that you're tired and then I want to leave all this thing, I want some time, right?
It's upon the individual how you want to progress in your career.
How is your individuality?
So that's what I mentioned. So you want to uh, put yourself in such a place where you can contribute to such a large nation. So you have to thrive fast within the stipulated time so that you reach such heights and you can contribute to the country.
So you have that thought somewhere you're tired, you had before?
See, yeah, I had when coming from a very structured organization, coming to a startup working over here. So it was very tiring in the initial phases, wherein it was more of a people driven and less of a process driven. And yeah, that's the challenge, of course. The more challenges you face and you shape out yourself. So once we started building the processes and multiple teams and expanded the organization, then you feel comfortable with the position.
Have you got this failure which is always being in your mind till now as rent free? It is not about the journey of your professionalism. I'm just asking through your career, through your life.
Okay. So when I uh, got qualified for IIT, so at that time I was inclined towards going into software actually, uh, because I was not aware how to take the decision and coming from a background wherein no person was able to guide in the right way because I was the first person to enter into the IIT. Of course, at the end of the college life, when I sat for the placement, I saw a brutal truth that is placement companies, the hiring process and everything. There were like very few companies came to the campus for construction industry. At the time, I felt like maybe I took a wrong choice. And yeah, till date, if you see the progression, what happens in the IT industry, the new AI and everything. So the pace at which the IT industry grows, and it's very interesting actually for me. But yeah, it happened quite a long time back, and I made a choice, and I try to see, as Ratan Tata mentions, you can't take right decisions every time, so you need to make your decisions right. So that's what I believe in.
So you still regret on that?
I don't regret much on it. Yeah, as I mentioned, I want to make my decision right now because since I can't change anything on the problem, so when you can't deal with the problem, just avoid it and go forward.
Right, right. You're right. That's great. Shikhar, was there any moment that you genuinely doubted whether I can do it or not? Any situation you doubted yourself?
When you encounter any new problem, so you get the feeling like whether I can you can pass on that or not. Okay, so while I was changing my industry from construction, coming from a structured organization, so working in a startup, I was having a bit fear, whether I would be able to pull off or not, like with a lot of less responsibilities and everything. But yeah, initial phases were of course difficult, and I took my time to calm myself, and yeah, I maintained the composure, and now I'm good with that.
What is one unethical thing that became normalized in this industry?
Hmm. Unethical thing, like, as you know, corruption is one of the biggest killer for this industry. So it happens at multiple levels and multiple stages of the project. So how you're going to control such scenarios is going to play a pivotal role in the growth of an organization. Okay, so why I mentioned is corruption. It doesn't only affect at a single point of time. For example, you are dealing with some X project, okay, and your vendor has done some fault at site, and he's offering something, okay, might be a gift, might be a dinner out, okay. At that point of time, you don't realize the impact what it's going to create, but he gets habituated to that, and he keeps on repeating such mistakes, and he's going to continue those scenarios. So yeah, corruption is one of the biggest aspect in the industry what I feel is affecting.
Okay. In manager point of view, if someone makes a mistake and you're giving them a counseling or something, do the perspective of him or of you changes on him always, even if he correct himself?
No, quite not, because see, during the growth phase, you will also see what mistakes you have done, and what majority of the mistakes what your downline team is going to be a mistake what you have already done. Okay, that's majority of the cases what I feel it is. So when the mistake happens once, twice, you understand it can be corrected, and there are certain mistakes which cannot be corrected, and you need to assess what type of mistake it is. Again, it depends on it. But yeah, when people in your team take a constructive feedback from you, that helps them personally in their progression. And there are cases wherein they inculcated the feedback in their progression, and they're doing well in their careers.
Shikhar, do you see politics in office or the managements where you worked?
See, it cannot be throughout the organization, but at some parts, in some parts of the organization, there will be scenarios where you have to encounter such scenarios.
So, what kind of scenarios you have encountered?
Uh, Maybe see, some manager might be promoting persons from his own region. That
Mm-hmm.
might be one scenario wherein maybe other scenarios would be encouraging the team who is making favor to anyone. Okay. So yeah, there are different types of it, and how the leadership manages such things is the crucial part. So that's the reason how why we have the HR assessments and the leadership interactions, and also that you assess the people as directly as possible.
Was that in any point of time that affected you and then you could not say out?
No, to be frank, fortunately, it never I never encountered personally. So yeah, it didn't happen for me at least. Yeah,
Okay, do you support those kind of things or?
of course not.
All right.
Uh, So it disturbs the entire work culture what you have been developing for the years, and suddenly some person is disturbing all the decorum of the room. So it impacts the mindset of all the team members. It's not about who got the benefit. It's about the see. If you see some person who might have joined along with you, and he's getting promoted at a very escalated pace than you, then obviously you might be in not in the same department, but the impact will be on the entire team, entire company itself. See, for everything there is a tolerance level what any person has. Okay, so if any such bad practice happening in the company, it won't take much time to get into your eyes. Okay, so from here or the other way, the information will reach to the management. Many people think that leadership don't notice such scenarios, but it's very inevitable. They will be observing all the time. Okay, so yeah, at certain point of time, we make the course corrections, maybe by counseling such persons, or again, the hard truth is maybe we might terminate such scenarios.
I have one curious question that, what conversation is happening between the leaders, okay, at the higher level? If a normal employee is listening to towards those conversations, will the perception of the employee towards leadership changes?
Yes, definitely. I feel like at leadership level, it's not about the routine or the operational stuff. It's always about strategic thinking.
Hmm.
Like maybe as an employee, you might be looking for the maybe for 6 months, 1 year down the line. But at leadership level, they always have to think down the line for 5 years at least to sustain in the market. So they always plan for the future, and they always think about the growth prospects and market opportunities. The conversation would be very different from your daily routine.
So it'll be brutal and direct.
Yeah, of course, it will be always brutal and honest. They will be first because until unless they accept the reality, they can't take the right decisions.
Okay, so how do you actually get those ideology and towards your employee? You will be having some conversation, or your heads will be having some conversations, and you will be a part of it. And then, how do you take that essence to your employee? Because you can't get it directly, correct? So, what is your way?
Multiple companies follow different methods for that. One is like they conduct town hall meetings wherein directly the co-founder or founder communicates the vision of the company to the employees directly. That's one way, and they have few companies have annual meets wherein they pitch the vision of the company for the next 5 years so that everyone is aligned towards the same goal. See, until unless all the workforce, everyone is committed towards the same goal, the end result is not going to sustain. If you're keeping separate targets for your sales team, separate targets for your operations team, it's okay. But ultimately, those two teams have to work combinedly to achieve the end result, right? So, to give that clear picture and transparency with your employees, you conduct such events to express your vision to them.
Okay. You said you came from a village, and then your growth is really rapid over here. So, what do you wanted to say your followers? This is what the easiest way to go up. Which one you would say?
There are no easiest way in life. So, yeah. I don't think like maybe you're mentioning IIT is not the only way you people get success, right? So it is one of the good platforms and the best one of the best platforms what we have in India. And there are multiple ways again. So few people get that course correction at some age point, right? The faster you get that correction in your life and align your goals and start working towards it, the faster you see the results, right?
There will be something, right? Like, I have done this. No one said me.
Okay.
You don't do that. You go in this way, like that. Anything?
Maybe during my college time, like when everyone of my batchmates are going for non-core opportunities, then my philosophy was always towards getting placed into the core companies and working with them. So yeah, I made that hard decision in my life, and I stood by it till now.
Okay. So you want your followers to do the same or take a decision through the heart and then do
See
that?
again, my only thing is the ultimate decision must be yours. That's the only take what I feel. Then will be 100 influences around you, and if something goes wrong with that decision, you should not be in a scenario that you blame someone else. It's always your decision. You have to abide for it. That's it.
Okay. What's the best advice you even ignored and regretted later?
Now I don't regret it, but yeah, at certain point of my life, I regretted like instead of going to software, I came into the core industry.
Okay. That's the, I mean, advice, if in case.
Yeah, my one of my relative have advised me at that time based on the scenario and all. But of course, I got opposite advice also from someone else. So yeah, it was a decision which I made. So I regretted till
Sometimes you
some
would have,
point of time.
sometimes you would have thought that, yeah, how my life would be on the parallel zone.
Yes,
When you're
yes,
being
yes,
in
yes.
IT, I would
Yeah.
be like this and that, right?
When I see my friends and like who passed out along with me in other industries, yeah, there is a huge gap at what we are currently. Okay, and yeah, the industry itself, like it is, you need to have patience, and see, it can't be the case like yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of sharks out there, so let's be a shark here. So
Good. So, what do you say? Leading people, is it an art or a science?
mix of both. Science in the sense you need to understand science is all about like optimizing things and everything. So once you get that exposure and all, so you understand the problems of the people what they are going to usually face, and again then comes the next phase wherein you handle those problems. It's your skill and art. It is so
Okay.
how you're going to address and make the people more comfortable in your team.
All right. So, well, everyone sees the achievement and success, this and that. What is your untold part of your journey?
I was a good student initially also. At some point of time, one of my relatives have like commented something towards my parents and all. So yeah, there was a one line he told like, "My son will be somewhere else and you will be on the road." So now today I'm building the road, so I don't mind. So that was an inspiration, the way I took it,
That's
and it changed actually my focus and career towards. To be frank, it became an advantage for me.
it fueled you.
It fueled me like anything.
Okay.
So during my plus one and plus two, I did the best hard work. What maybe till date I haven't done anywhere else.
Okay.
So with all the hurdles what I had, like with my capabilities and hard work, I was able to crack the exam finally, and I was so happy with that moment.
Okay. If at all, like, if you want to say your, I mean, students or anyone who's a follower of you, where in which part of your life you need to accelerate, and then
Okay.
which where you need to leave it as such.
As per the current scenario, like maybe they're starting coaching from first standard and so.
Yes, yes, yes. That is
So,
true.
which I don't think is a necessity. I feel like you need to give the liberty to student, like child, at least up to maybe fifth or sixth grade, at least to explore what are the opportunities in the market. It's not about only doing engineering, medicine, and CA. These are only the three streams which are being introduced to the children nowadays. Okay, there are multiple opportunities, multiple sectors where they can excel. Okay, you just give them some time, at least up to maybe eighth class or something, so they figure out what works for them, and then they start focus working towards them. So only thing is like you need to give that exposure to your child. He's the one who is going to take the decision. So you give the opportunity to explore, then let him take the decision.
Okay. Thank you so much, Srikar,
Yeah,
for
thank you so much for
being a
having
part of
me.
this show. And
Thank you.
how was the feedback on this show?
Yeah, it was quite good.
What you expected and what you got?
One thing is I was like I felt very good that I recollected all my memories throughout the life, and yeah, that's what made me more special for this.
Okay. So you feel a bit lighter after this session,
Yeah, of course.
right? Thank you so much for
Thank
being a
you.
part.
Thank you.